Hello, everyone. I'm Yoshimura from Nissha Company Limited. Thank you very much for having me today. Please allow me to share my screen. Today, I will introduce our service called Re&Go. Currently, demonstration of this service is underway in Tokyo. It is a container reuse and sharing service. First, to introduce Re&Go service, it is a service jointly developed and promoted by Nissha and NEC Solution Innovators. Mission of both companies is to solve social issues through business. To fulfill our mission, we jointly launched this service, Re&Go. Both companies are currently engaged in its conceptualization phase. Nissha is mainly in charge of making goods and developing hardware, and NEC Solution Innovators is developing systems and software. Here are the mission and vision of Re&Go service. The mission is to create an infrastructure that solves waste problem by creating a system that prevents container waste. The vision to fulfill this mission is to primarily reduce waste through this container sharing service and to create new values at the same time. More specifically, as you can see at the bottom of the slide, we want to visualize what we call environmental contribution, such as reduction in container waste and CO2 emission, and disclose the information to the general users and enterprises. Secondly, by connecting and cooperating with the shops that use our service and transportation and washing partners, we would like to contribute to vitalizing the regional economy. Also, we are planning an expansion of our sharing service, which is currently focused on cups, to other types of containers. Now, I'd like to take you through Re&Go journey to give you a feel of how to use this service. Normally, when you buy drinks at a regular shop, you would get a single-use cup. But here, you can use Re&Go cup instead. Then later, you can return the cup to some other shop. As a result, we can get rid of container waste. People can register as users using LINE Messenger app interface. Since penetration of LINE in Japan is extremely high, we expect that many people will use this service. As for the cups, we are putting QR code to manage them individually. The cups are insulated and can keep drinks warm or cold. It is a functional benefit. The used cups are not cleaned at the shop, but are transported to our washing partner. Then, after cleaning, the clean cups are delivered to the shops again. This background mechanism is also designed and built in Re&Go service. Here's the user flow. Users can register using LINE app and then scan a QR code of the container. That's all that takes to borrow a cup. Users are free to use the cup at the park or in the office. After using it, users can return the cup by simply scanning the QR code. These are the 3 steps for users. In closing, I will share with you what are the benefits for our partners and users. First, for our partners, For our shop partners, there are two major benefits. First, the shops can minimize container waste. Second, they can get useful information because we convert information gained through this service into beneficial format and provide it to them. Next, for our transport and washing partners, we are considering utilizing available resources. Such businesses that are not dedicated to transportation or cleaning can join Re&Go service partnership and generate revenue using their spare time. That's the kind of system we are aiming to create. Also, businesses can improve their staff members' eco-awareness by joining Re&Go. Last but not least, benefits for users are that they can enjoy higher functional container than single-use cups because they can keep drinks warm or cold. Secondly, by visualizing the environmental contribution, we are hoping to motivate the users to use this service even more.
Currently, we are doing the trial of this project in Tokyo by working with Starbucks Coffee Japan, and other businesses will also join this initiative from next year. So trial period is from November this year to May next year. Lastly but not least, prospect going forward or next step. Tokyo trial is second trial, and first trial took place in Okinawa. And based on these two trials results, at the end of 2022, we would like to commercialize this initiative, Re&Go. Local government and businesses are having a talk with us to commercialize this initiative. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Konbanwa. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for the invitation to participate in this conference. It is a pleasure for me to be here today. My name is Ana María López Sabiron. I'm Project and Innovation Manager in Iris Technology Solutions. Iris is an advanced engineering company specialized in real-time monitoring and industrial artificial intelligence solutions for driving improved processes quality and efficiency in different process industries. Today, I'm here representing MultiCycle project as project coordinator. MultiCycle is a collaborative European project carried out under the Horizon 2020 framework, and it is focused on developing advanced and sustainable recycling processes and value chains for plastic-based multi-materials. Before to go directly to the project, I would like to introduce briefly what is the scenario for plastic and what is the motivation for MultiCycle. To do that, I would like to start showing this short video.
Whether you're building dynamic network models or forecasting real-world behavior, Neo4j's new graph algorithm.
Sorry, it was the ads.
Plastics deliver convenience, safety, and performance in all our lives, but the linear way we make, consume, and dispose of these adaptable materials is broken. Established waste management systems only recycle about a third of the plastics they receive. Worse still, a high proportion of plastic waste isn't managed properly and ultimately finds its way into the waterways and oceans upon which all life depends. Right now, we are using fossil-based resources and burning energy and money to pollute the biosphere with highly engineered, potentially useful materials. We need to transform our thinking and create a circular plastics economy, both for our planet and for our pockets. Plastic products and wastes contain a variety of polymers, long-chain molecules, which could be reused many times if only we could identify and recover them individually. This isn't easy for conventional sorting systems, even with mixed single plastics. The MultiCycle project is addressing the particular challenge of end-of-life multi-materials, where different polymers are formed together or with other materials to meet performance demands. MultiCycle is demonstrating the shift to a circular economic model in two industrial segments: multi-layer packaging films used to protect foods and personal care products, and fiber-reinforced plastic composites found in durable, lightweight parts in modern vehicles. MultiCycle's industrial pilot plant combines a patented polymer selective recovery process with an advanced artificial intelligence-based waste classification system, which identifies the plastics going into the process and the best conditions to recover them. The resulting plastics can then be processed into new products, cycling back into the value chains from which they arose.
So after this brief introduction, as we could see in the video, most of the current plastic items have a multi-material composition, especially in the packaging and automotive sector. And therefore, this is a challenge for the circular economy. Actually, there are challenges along the different stages of the value chains that should be overcome to achieve effective recycling chains. For example, in case of sorting, it is demonstrated that the standard techniques doesn't work properly. In case of the process separation and recycling, it is needed to obtain pure fractions for proper reprocessing, and currently there is a lack of recycling processes able to do that for multi-materials, especially implemented at industrial level. In this context, MultiCycle project aims to overcome these challenges and go a step further in the promotion of advances and sustainable recycling processes and value chains for plastic-based multi-materials. MultiCycle, as I mentioned before, is a European project carried out under the Horizon 2020 framework, and specifically under the Part 10 topic, which is focused on efficient recycling processes for plastic-containing materials. This is an innovation action, and therefore the project aims to achieve at least TRL 7 in the solutions developed within the project. To do that, we have a time frame of 3.5 years, starting in November 2018 and finishing next year in April 2022. The project has a budget close to 10 million euros with an effective European contribution around 8 million euros. The consortium is a multidisciplinary team close to 20 partners from 10 different countries, covering the plastic value chains from waste managers, polymer and fiber producers or recyclers, compounding companies, packaging manufacturers, composite converters, technology providers, and transversal actors. The consortium brings together comprehensive interdisciplinary pockets of knowledge. There is a solid scientific presence covering all the relevant fields, thanks to Fraunhofer, Implants, or Centexbel, combined also with a strong industrial and commercial involvement. For example, 7 small and medium enterprises like Iris, Lumi, Axia, Inlecom, Britech, or B2020, 1 international association like the International Solid Waste Association, and 8 large enterprises like Arkema, Cylon, ELG, Gen2Carbon, Bond Laminate, Farplus, Tofas, GBP, or Anco. All of them together to ensure that the value chains of commercial actors can progressively toward the introduction of new viable solutions for the recycling of plastic-based multi-materials. As was mentioned before, MultiCycle Solutions aims to develop an advanced and sustainable recycling process and value chains for plastic-based multi-materials. In this sense, and as similar it was mentioned in the video, it is involved an innovative physical recycling process based on the Creasolve patent applied to valorize currently non-recyclable materials. The project includes two main focus: multi-materials from the packaging sector, such as multi-layer films, and also fiber reinforced composites from the automotive sector. In both cases, we consider two sources: post-industrial and post-consumer waste plastics. In this context, MultiCycle is delivering an innovative recycling pilot plant and demonstrate that the resulting processes are economically and environmentally sustainable for valorizing these current non-recyclable materials. The project combines several approaches. The first one is to optimize the recycling and the reprocessing steps for each one of the materials in this industrial environment. The second one is developing and integrating other technologies, for example, the advanced monitoring and process analytic technique solutions for the identification and classification of the materials and process improvement. Here you can see a photo in this slide of this system developed by Iris. And also we consider other technologies, for example, like the supercritical CO2 upgrading and other ones. And finally, the third one is demonstrating that the recovered materials potential for packaging and automotive application is able to achieve in order to close the cycle. These solutions allow to overcome some of the gaps that I mentioned before and that currently exist in the recycling processes of these materials and provide also new advances. In this sense, MultiCycle is able to increase the tolerance to the compositional variation in the recycling process. Also is able to increase the recovery of main polymers and fiber fractions, minimizing in this way the non-valorized residues. Also, we promote the co-design in secondary raw materials applications with reduced footprint and minimal downgrading to allow virtual infinite multi-cycle. Also, we promote the creation of decision support system for process optimization. Additionally, the project is proposing a circular value chain approach to maximize the prospect of necessary systemic changes. In this sense, the project is boosting feasible recycling processes technologies and fostering the incorporation of secondary raw materials to allow closing the material cycle. And finally, the project promotes also the visibility of the developments by means of the circular plastic ELIS action. More specifically, in our last year of the project, we reached some notorious achievements. For example, we were able to sample and process industrial and post-consumer waste, including different types of flexible packaging thermoplastics, both single and multi-layer polymers, and also different types of carbon and glass fiber reinforced composite used commonly in the automotive sector. Additionally, the pilot plant, where the target materials are recovered, was successfully demonstrated processing 100 tons of waste. Moreover, the photonic-based classification system was for packaging and reinforced composite was successfully integrated and validated. And finally, we started the campaigns for the post-processing and evaluation of the recycled materials in several applications for packaging and automotive components. Finally, some remarks about the expected impacts for MultiCycle is aimed to achieve. For example, to obtain more efficient and sustainable processing technologies using plastic waste as feedstock to produce added value products. Also decreases the utilization of primary fossil resources and CO2 emissions by more than 30% and 20% respectively. Improve the enforcement of plastic end-of-life related policies to lower environmental burdens for packaging and automotive waste. Also to carry out effective dissemination of major innovation outcomes, and also the development of learning resources with flexible usability for several stakeholders. Also, we are going to have 3 patent filings at the end of the project. And we aim to generate new revenues from the commercialization of recycling plant technologies and the recycling materials. And this is all from my side. Here you can see my contact data, my email. Also, you have the website of my company, Iris, and also you can find here the website of MultiCycle project, where you can find more information about the development and the activities that we are going to carry out. So thank you very much for your attention, and arigato gozaimashita.
I am Bannai from RECOTECH. Thank you for having me today. I'd like to introduce the past initiatives of RECOTECH as well as an ongoing joint project with Tokyo Metropolitan Government. RECOTECH is a company that makes designs so that people who want to reuse resources can do so under the tagline of "What if we could pool our materials instead of throwing them away?"
Just talking about what we've done from the discharge of the garbage. There is a Venice, it's called the Venice supply chain or waste handling. We have been working on consulting this, and we have been providing hard and soft solutions throughout the recycling chain to the government as well as other companies up to now. So we've been working on recycling materials, recycling resources, and talking about the situation that Japan is right now. So the design is so that people can conveniently discharge the waste. That is where we are now. But when we think about recycling this, we need to bring it to not Venice, but we want to design the system so it could be used in the main manufacturing site. And this graph that you see in front of you is the top 15 plastic producing companies. And it talks about the new plastic economy global commitment, and its status at 2019. So it's the post-consumer recycled incorporation goals. You can see that there is a big gap on where the company is in 2019 and where it wants to be in 2025. Now, from Ellen MacArthur, the 2021 report has been announced. And each of the companies have been increasing their proportion of the post-consumer recycled PCR, but there is still a very big gap there. And there is a big need to use the post-consumer recycled plastics, but they're not there. But there are 4 challenges in order to get to where we want to go. And we are working with companies, major companies like Hull. So for these major companies to use the post-consumer recycled plastics, there needs to be a stable supply of that. And even if a certain price rise could be absorbed, the price needs to be stable as well. And also right now, there's more attention on traceability. We need to get the information on where it comes from. And if we don't have that information, it will be difficult to incorporate in the portfolio to use that. And in order to overcome those challenges so that more PCR materials can be used, so to enable the manufacturers to incorporate that, we developed our platform pool, and we've just launched this platform. Now, the structure is quite simple. So it is to visualize the waste data on a regional level. So people will be logging on, and so we would know where it is. And actually, the logistics or how to transfer that would impact the logistics, the cost side. So visualizing this on a regional level enables us to organize an optimal collection routes, which would contribute to lowering the cost. And by accumulating the data, we'd be able to predict how much waste would be present in what sort of area, and that would contribute to a more convenient supply chain. And not just optimizing the efficiency of collection, but all of the process that's here, like the volume reduction data, sorting data, and our platform optimizes the efficiency integrating the data throughout the process while ensuring the traceability. And actually, the pellet is called, we actually sell it as gold pellets that you can see here. On the left-hand side, you can see the trace data of the resource here. The pellet, the final pellet, if you input the serial data, you can actually see the traceability where the pellet has been made, and that information could be fed back to the companies using this resource. And the project that is ongoing for us with the support from the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, and this is started from 15th of this month, and talking about the project. So the plastic that comes from the apparel industry. So we actually collect that in the transparent plastic material. So these are the companies that are involved here. We have the major department stores like Mitsubishi and Marui. They are cooperating with us as well in order to collect that. And in order to make that more efficient, we're actually involving a major company in the distribution side as well. So basically, we can actually collect the plastic that is as used in the apparel companies. Now, the pellet that has been manufactured, we have a company like Kao and Oppan Printing, and we are working with them, so it could be used in a sustainable manner. Talking about the supply chain, the efficiency of the collection, and the CO2 reduction that could be done, and the cost there. That analysis is being done by companies like Deloitte and also a research institute in University of Tokyo. And we are intending to make a tool so that is easily seen or visualized as well. Now, through this project, to do material recycle with a sustainable cost, and not just with the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, but nationwide. And we want to make a model so we can expand it outside Japan as well. So that was a very simple outline of what we are doing. So that will be all from my presentation. Just returning the microphone back to the MC.
Good evening, probably to most all of you. I will share the screen. Hopefully you see it. So I'm saying hello to you from Central Europe, from Prague, and I will be presenting on behalf of MIWA company tonight. So MIWA, we're a technological company. We've been founded in 2015. Since 2017, we have intensified significantly our operations, our work. MIWA stands for minimum waste, and basically it defines our mission, which is to prevent waste from single-use packaging. The system we are offering to producers and to retailers consists of reusable packaging, and I will be talking about it on the following slides. We have a solution which is for a B2B large containers reusable packaging. We have also consequent reusable containers for consumers. We are working not only with our business clients, but we are also part of what we may call a global community that is dealing with reusable packaging. We are a member of Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and we were also, or for instance, we are cooperating with World Economic Forum within the platform of Consumer Beyond Waste. We were also lucky to receive several awards, but let me move further so that I can introduce you more to MIWA. So maybe this is something, the problem we are solving, not anymore that unknown to you all. As I've mentioned, we are addressing the single-use packaging waste. And it is good to have in mind that not only the problem that is caused by this waste is pollution of the environment, but basically by using the packaging only once, we are significantly depleting natural resources, because then it is very difficult to reuse the material for same value applications, for instance, for another packaging. So MIWA, here it is how it works. It operates in 3 loops. We have control over the packaging and over the material within the system, which is thanks to the fact that the reusable packaging, which is there, is deposited. So there is motivation for the users to return it back. And we have also full traceability of the system. Both the large canisters and consumer cups are equipped with chips. So basically we see all the history, what has been filled in, when the product has been sold, all the information concerning expiration date, ingredients, information that would be normally included on the single-use packaging is stored into MIWA Cloud and is accessible through applications to producers, retailers, but also to consumers when they bring the product home. So basically, the producer, which is here starting the second middle loop, fills in the large canister with product which can be, at this moment, dry, loose products, food, for instance, rice, nuts, or some premixes, snacks. It can be pet food, but it can be, for instance, home care products such as washing powders, etc. The canister then behaves as just another form of packaging, and it travels to the retailer where it is clicked onto MIWA shelf, which is equipped with electronic dispenser, which is able to read the information on the chip, on the capsule. So basically then if the consumer is dispensing, is buying a product from the system, we can, for instance, see it on distance that this is happening, and so can see it the retailer. So there is valuable insight when it comes to stock management or overview of the sales. So the consumer, this is the right part, the right loop, has the option to use a smart MIWA cup, or he or she can use own reusable container brought from home. MIWA Smart Cup will, thanks to the chip which is there, store the information which is then accessible into MIWA application, and there will be information on the product, but for instance also on the cup. So as the cup is deposited, there is good overview of all the cups. The consumer has basically borrowed, and she has the overview whether to return them back. So once the consumer is coming back to the store, there is option either to return the MIWA cup and get the deposit back, or he or she can reuse it for another shopping from MIWA system. And at this point, the system will recognize that the deposit has been already paid for, and it will not be required for a second time. This is all accomplished by the left loop. Here mentioned reuse of materials. So once the packaging, the canisters or the cups reaches the end of a life, we take care of the material, and through recycling, we reuse it into production of new MIWA packaging. So basically any leakage into the environment is significantly eliminated by how the system is designed. And on top of it, we are reusing the material. As such, we need only 10% of the packaging material compared to the single-use system. So in the end, it's not only very impactful and environmental friendly, but it becomes also very economic for everyone involved and everyone using the system. This is in bigger detail how it looks like. The first one, that's the canister, which is being clicked, inserted onto the shelf. Then there is the refill station, basically the MIWA module, which can be placed in a store as a single unit. But for instance, in Prague, we are now having installation at the Albert Ahold Delhaize retailer, and there are 8 modules in a row for different products. And then you can see the smart MIWA cup. I was mentioning that MIWA works currently for dry products, but we are also working and we're getting close to finalize the development for liquid products. So basically, this is to happen at the end of this year, beginning of next year, that the system will be launched on the market. I was also already mentioning a lot of the benefits that are coming from the smart and data element, which is there for MIWA. I would like just to maybe mention one point here. For any kind of reusable packaging system, the challenge is to operate and manage the system in a way that in the first place, it is better than the single-use packaging system. So there, for instance, the size of the packaging pool has to be appropriate. If there is too much packaging, then there is too much material, and it is not anymore economical nor environmental friendly. The transportation distances, because once the canister has been emptied in the store, we collect it, we bring it to the cleaning center, clean it, and send it for refilling. So all these transportation distances related to reverse logistic have to be also optimized so that the canisters, the packaging do not travel long distances. And we, thanks to the data and perfect overview and traceability, we are able to optimize it to the best. And we're able to measure it, to see it, and to make ourselves, but as well our client and the consumers aware that we're making the impact, the effect is positive. And on a second level, we are even able to optimize it further. So on the other side, to whom we provide MIWA system. So basically, there are 2 large groups. One is retailers. Another group is large international brands. But we do not target to have the MIWA in place only for the big ones, even though the big ones are having significant portion of the market. So that's also there where we can make the biggest impact, introducing a reusable packaging system. But MIWA is meant also for smaller, mid-sized local brands. And what I wanted to pass on with this slide is also the information that MIWA is not meant only to be installed in stores, but basically it can behave in an automated way. So it can be placed, for instance, in public spaces, in offices, and in other locations, and it can basically the consumer, when dispensing there, in those cases, can directly pay through the module through MIWA application for the product itself. So the cash desk, which is in the retail, is not required to use MIWA in all the cases. I was already talking about the environmental impact and the footprint. We have had performed a life cycle assessment study by Czech University of Technology and Chemistry by a team who specializes in those studies. The resulting figure you see here is 70% lower environmental footprint compared to the single-use packaging system. This is a figure where behind it is a CO2 effect reduction, but also effect on the depletion of natural resources. And we're working on to further improve the system and to stand for this figure and to be even better. So I would like to end my presentation, and I would like to welcome your questions just with a view of our last installation I was already mentioning, which is in Prague, in Albert. If not, MIWA is currently installed and in use also in Switzerland. We're planning installations in Netherlands, in Germany, in United Kingdom. So mostly we're now focused in Europe, but there is strong interest coming also from the United States, as well as we see interest from Japan and from Asia and in general from Eastern Asia. So I'm very glad I had the opportunity to talk about MIWA. And now to your questions.
My name is Sae Shinzato, and
I'm Lena Fritsche, and we are from Doki Earth. This is a young social business based in Sendai, Japan. Today, we want to introduce our approach on building circular communities. We at Doki see all resources, including waste, as nutrients for something new. We see the world's waste problem as a nutrient management problem, and we are working on solutions to solve this problem. We follow the cradle-to-cradle concept, which is a design concept for a consistent circular economy. Doing so, our business model is designed to give nutrients back to the soil. We aim to create a world without waste and thus foster the well-being of both humans and nature. Like many, we have always been very concerned about the huge amount of plastic waste we were generating in our everyday life. Every year, more than 30 kilograms of plastic packaging is used per person in Japan. Knowing that most of it is not recycled but incinerated, contributing to global warming, that a lot of waste is dumped into natural environments where it is destroyed, where it destroys ecosystems, and that the use of plastic also has disruptive effects on human health, we couldn't move on doing business as usual. Did you know that 70% of all global incinerators are located in Japan? It is said that incineration is a clean disposal method. However, incinerators emit 1/5 of all CO2 in the country and cause a massive loss of precious resources. This is how most of our resources are treated. They are moving within a linear system from extraction to consumption, disposal, and incineration. Almost 60% of collected plastic waste in Japan is incinerated. In addition to general household waste, this household waste also includes bio-waste, such as kitchen scraps, as this is not collected separately from other waste in most Japanese municipals. In fact, out of all household garbage, 1/3 by weight is bio-waste. If that was composted instead, it could return to the soil as nutrients, but is instead burned, which further contributes to global warming. In addition, those nutrients are needed to regenerate agricultural soils because most of Japan's farmland is intensively cultivated. Japanese farmers over-fertilize the lands, and the amount of pesticides is one of the highest in the world. If we imagine fertile land to be a storehouse of nutrition, this reservoir is slowly being eroded without proper replenishment. As you can see, the problems of waste, soil, and nutrition are deeply connected. In opposition to the linear system, we aspire a system built on the biological cycle. Our first measure to achieve this is a simple nutrient exchange in form of a vegetable box. This veggie box is more than just a veggie box. It's more than a product because it's implemented in a circular system. We deliver seasonal organic vegetables from local farms and in return, we pick up our customers' food waste. The bio-waste and biodegradable packaging is composted and will return to our partner farmers' fields to grow new food. All of our future projects will be based on this model of circular nutrient management. In our circular model, we have positive impact in 5 fields. First, the community. For a circular society, we need to connect stakeholders with each other to ensure a nutrient flow without dead end. It's also important to create awareness for the necessity of a circular economy. Second, we support organic farming because it respects natural systems in order to cultivate crops in a sustainable manner. We need to produce food and products made from natural materials. So organic agriculture is necessary. Third, we save resources by avoiding single-use plastics and reusing as much as possible. Fourth, incinerating waste causes greenhouse gas emissions. By eliminating waste, these emissions can be reduced. Healthy soil is also a storage for carbon and nitrogen. In fact, soil is a very important element in fighting the climate crisis. And fifth, returning nutrients to the soil improves the soil quality and thus the quality of our food. This is a demo we made last year when we started our activities. It shows how our veggie box service works. Every week we receive seasonal vegetables from our local partner farms. We then carefully pack them in a biodegradable box without using any plastic. We also let our subscribers know what to expect inside the box each week before we deliver them right to their doorstep. We even include handy recipe suggestions. When exchanging the box of the previous week with a new full vegetable box, we pick up the customer's kitchen scraps in return and add them to our compost piles. When we pack our vegetable boxes, we don't use any plastic wrapping. And we also ask the farmers not to do it either in order to create plastic-free supply chain. All cardboard boxes, containers, and so on used by the farmers are returned to them, and so that they can use them again the next time they deliver vegetables. When we use packaging, our customers only need the function of the packaging, which means that we don't leave the responsibility of waste disposal to them. All materials we use can be returned to us each time we pick up the boxes of the previous week. The packaging, which is still in good shape, will be used again. Damaged packaging will be composted. That's also a money-saving benefit. The boxes themselves are quite sturdy. We clean and reuse them many times. In case they are too dirty or damaged, they will be composted too. The bio-waste is collected in biodegradable garbage bags. For composting, we collaborate with a local NPO called Bio-Waste Recycle Network Sendai.
I'd like to talk about the community. So what makes us Doki Earth more special is the community. We are not only delivering vegetables, but also making a community with Doki Tomo. Doki Tomo means Friends of Doki, and it includes our team members, local farmers, and volunteers, and other supporters. We are promoting organic farming, composting, and reusing waste together. Currently, we are working with 7 organic farmers. They are mostly based in Miyagi Prefecture. As for volunteers, we are working with Tohoku University students and also the NPO called Bio-Waste Recycle Network Sendai. We made a compost box with the students, and the NPO is composting bio-waste we collected from customers, and also veggie box packaging we used enough. Then they can return it to the soil. We are all connected at the local levels, so the community ties are getting stronger. It makes people feel more safe and belonging in the community, even if they are living in the central city. I would like to show you more examples about our community activities. We are communicating with Dokitomo via LINE and social media. We send the vegetable list every week and share some recipes. It's not one-sided communication from us, but interactive. I mean, for instance, we have a cooking group on Facebook in which we come up with the best recipes for our weekly vegetables together. Okay. And our community is not closed, but we are always welcoming people from other areas and different backgrounds. In order to exchange thoughts and ideas, we organize events related to sustainability, circular society, and climate change. We hope it helps participants to improve their understanding about what's going on in the world and take action towards a better future. We are still very small and at the very early stage, but we are aiming to make nutrient islands in different places. Nutrient island means a local nutrient cycle. In the future, we are going to expand and grow our community by cooperating with local stakeholders like community organizations, local manufacturers, and local governments. Also, we would like to implement our model in another area. So we'll be very happy to have new collaborations. So if you are interested, please let us know. Okay, let me wrap up today's presentation. We believe every organic matter can be part of the nutrient cycle because there is no such thing as waste. So we are trying to keep the right thing in the right place. By doing so, we can make a world without waste. Thank you very much for listening.
My name is Masuda from Unilever Japan. I would like to thank all of you for your participation today. I would be presenting about this initiative between Kao, ourselves, and Veolia, and I would like to explain about this Mina de Bottle Recycle project. Mina is for everyone. Let me explain about our company first. Unilever has headquarters in Europe. It is a foreign company, and there are different product categories, but as you can see from this picture, these would be a lineup of the products that we sell globally. And we also have mayonnaise, food, all the way to detergents. So we are an FMCG company. In Japan, we have Lux and Dove brands that probably are familiar to the Japanese consumers. We have shampoo consumers. We also have body soaps. So we have daily necessities that we offer in the Japanese market. One of the key characteristics of Unilever would be, as a part of our business strategy, we have an environmental target. At Unilever, we have Unilever Compass, and we have set a target by 2025. Today, the topic is plastic, and so I would like to set 3 points based on plastic. These would be the 3 key targets that we have set amongst ourselves. The first is to reduce the virgin plastic usage to 50%. And the second is 100% reusable, recyclable, or compostable plastic. And the third point is to collect and process more plastics than we sell. These are the key 3 targets that we have set upon ourselves. Unilever Compass has been set from last year. And so there are initiatives that are already in place. For the first point, the absolute reduction of 100,000 tons and 25% recycled plastic by 2025 would be the target that we have set. From 2019 in Japan, the PET bottle packages are using recycled plastic. And our initiative to reduce plastics, this is a project that we have started this year. We have refill stations, so we have a demonstration of cells by measure. For the second point, we have products that are refill, and so as reusable, recyclable, and compostable plastic, we are targeting to increase monomaterial package. The third target is to collect and process more plastic than we sell. Regarding this, we still have many challenges left. And so regarding the project that I will be talking about today, the project will be based upon this third initiative. In our industry, we have challenges that we face, as well as the current status, as you can see on this slide. In our industry, we are not able to recycle many of our bottles back to our industry. So there is no closed loop recycle structure established like the beverage industry. So the beverage industry has been able to establish a closed loop recycle structure, but we have not been able to establish that yet in our industry. And within our industry, in terms of voluntary collection, there are initiatives in place by each of the companies. And until now, we have initiatives that we had been working as a single company. And we believe that there are 3 key challenges. First, there are too many variants in the types of material and color of the packages. The second is there are no infrastructure to collect our industry package separately. And the third point is we have not been able to establish the technology to maintain the quality of material recycle. Regarding the many variants, as I mentioned in the first point, functionality, and also the design aspect, as well as the pairing with the content, ends up having many variants. And when we consider the recycle process, there are additional processes that are required. And when the colors are mixed, the resin color is not ideal. It ends up being gray. The second and third point, there is no mechanism to collect and no technology with quality. We did not have experience in these areas. So if we work on this as a manufacturer, how much resource and cost is required is still unclear. So that's also a challenge that we had. So this is why we have started a project to examine these 3 points. And so we have started this Minna Bottle Recycle project. And from June, we have started this initiative in Tokyo, Higashi Yamato City. And we have worked with Tokyo government, and we also had Veolia Genets involved in this project. within Higashi Yamato City, we have set 10 collection boxes, and we have asked the consumers to clean and dry the containers and put them in this box. Veolia is the recycler, and so they will be separating, cleaning, and processing, and they are verifying the horizontal recycling technology. We still are in the verification phase, but the objective is to have consumers, government, and industry work together so that we can create a mechanism to collect bottles. And the second is to utilize the collected packages so that bottle-to-bottle horizontal recycling can be possible. On the bottom right, we have a picture here, and this would be the actual collection box that are set, and it would be showing how a consumer is putting in the empty bottle inside this package. So I have been raising a couple of names so far, but this project is being done together with Kao and Veolia. Through this partnership, Kao is the largest FMCG company in Japan, and Kao also has their sustainability strategy, and they have the same aim as a company, likewise with Unilever. And as we worked with Kao, they had faced the same challenges. And through these commonalities, we have decided to support each other so that we can accelerate the verification through collaboration. As we started this project to examine recyclability, we needed to have Veolia to support so that they can support us from the upstream. Veolia has their global scale, and they have their recycle business and water processing business and energy business. And so their insights and experience are utilized in our project. So through various experience, they are supporting us from a technological perspective. From here and onwards, I would like to talk about the content of the project. The products that are subject to collection would be bottles of daily necessities. We are not limiting the manufacturer Kao and Unilever. As long as they are daily necessities, we are able to collect any packages. There are composables as well as hazardous goods that are excluded from the collection. And I mentioned this earlier, but for the consumers that participate and the citizens that participate, we ask them to clean the bottle and refill packages and dry them before they put it in the recycle package.
If you look at the diagram on the right, you can see what we are asking the consumers to do. So we're asking them to rinse out the containers and also to dry them out. This shows the overall scheme. So we ask the residents for their cooperation. They would collect the containers and then put them in the collection box. Then the manufacturer takes over and sends it to the recycling plant. Veolia's recycling plant is in Ibaraki Prefecture. So once received there, plastic is sorted, and using that, it is shredded and then processed into plastic resin. Once it is turned into resin, it is sent to the bottle supplier and is turned into a bottle that our industry can use. That is the aim. Now, when I talk about our project, there is one question that always comes up. We are partnering with Kao, and the question that we are asked is that, how do you do it, although you are competitors? Obviously, Kao and Unilever are competitors, and this is something that we have talked thoroughly about. So we have drawn a line where we compete and where we can collaborate. So regarding where we're going to compete, we are going to compete fiercely. However, when it comes to sustainability, this is something that the Japanese society has to take on as a whole. So in order to accelerate our efforts, it's better for two companies to work together to make progress with recycling and collection in Japan. That's the reason why we have teamed up. So once again, this is a collaborative initiative. And let me tell you about what each partner does. So first of all, the consumer. They rinse out and bring the containers to the collection boxes. Next is the government. They give us the place to set up the collection boxes. And once the collection box is full, they are in charge of sending it to the recycling plant. Also, they take on promotion campaigns to the local residents. Now, the recycler, Veolia, they receive, sort, and process the plastic that they are sent. And also, it is extremely important to make sure that we ensure traceability of the whole process. So they are the lead in this part of the project. Now, what the manufacturer does is that, first of all, we are the overall project lead. And we look at the technology that the manufacturer has to develop. Also, we are funding this whole project. Now, Tokyo Metropolitan Government facilitates our partnership. It supports communication, and we are also receiving support to our budget. So you can see that consumer, the government, and corporations are all working together in this project. We hope to leverage the strength of each partner so that this project is a success. Now, the project started in June. So we're at the 6-month mark. So far, we've managed to collect, as of last month, a total of 123 kilograms of plastic. So we've managed to surpass the 100 kilogram mark. At the 3-month mark, it was 42 kilograms. So we've really moved forward at quite a fast pace. And for this, we really have to thank Higashi Yamato City because they put a lot of effort into sustainability initiatives. So they put a lot of effort into promoting this project to the public and also sent out strong messages. So it's only because we were able to team up with the government that we were able to achieve this volume. And looking at the containers which have been provided, they've been rinsed out really well. They're very clean. So we will continue to work on promotion activities. And also, we are very grateful to all of the residents who brought bottles and plastic to the collection boxes. Now, Tokyo Metropolitan Government is supporting us as well. The Innovative Technology and Business Model Promotion Project is what Tokyo is doing, and we have been adopted as a survey analysis project. So we are receiving funding support from them and also other forms of support. So we hope to continue working together with them so that we can continue at the pace that we are moving forward at the moment. Now, if you look at the photograph on the bottom right, this has to do with the technology that we are verifying at the moment. For the first round, we are working on technology to turn plastic into pellets. So as I said, the bottles are coming to us in really good condition. However, Veolia, we actually visited their premises many times because there were many challenges in processing that plastic, and lots of trials took place. And finally, we have managed to get to this point. So I think this is a huge achievement. So as I said, this is the first achievement. And we will continue to do the second round of verification, the third round of verification going forward. So we hope that we will be able to collect more plastic as we move forward so that we can move forward with the verification of technologies. Lastly, let me talk about our passion for this project. So the name of the project is Let's Recycle Bottles Together. we gave it a very simple name that everyone can understand. We didn't try to promote our company, and we just came to this name that anyone could understand. We hope that people, regardless of age, will continue to support this project, and that we can make a difference in Japan. Now, I talked about challenges earlier, and I said that plastic comes in many colors and many materials at the moment. So this makes recycling in our industry quite difficult, and this is a challenge that we have to address. So through this project, which will get a lot of data and a lot of learnings, we hope that we will be able to make contributions when we verify what kind of packaging is ideal in terms of recycling in the future. And lastly, our industry is aiming to realize a circular economy. It's going to be difficult to achieve. However, we want to continue to working with the local governments, the manufacturers, the recyclers, and the public. So by working together and getting everyone's help, we hope that we achieved closed loop recycling in our industry, and that we will be able to send out this project from Japan to the world. That's it for my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Hello to everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Kapato with Loop. I'm in charge of this project. So about the Loop's reuse platform, we are the subsidiary of TerraCycle. Our company's mission is to reduce waste. So right now, we are conducting this operation in 20 countries for reuse system. As you know, that usually such waste does not exist in nature. In 1950s, so they invented the single-use products. And in 1950s, there were magazines, articles, and also the media coverage. So reuse is cumbersome. We can just simply throw away. Since then, from the circulation type of society or ecosystem, there was a paradigm shift to single-use society. So in order to reinstall the reuse culture, so reuse is very easy, convenient, and affordable. So we are starting from the scratch at the moment, but in order to scale up, we have to have a partnership with different stakeholders. And we have over 10 operating partners, like over 175 brand companies, and also the retailers as our partners. We have over 10 retailers as our partner. And we have a platform of Loop. Not only the private sectors, we are collaborating with NPOs. So in North America, in Canada, UK, France, and from May this year, in Japan too, we have started Loop operations. Next year, we want to launch this in Australia too. Loop is not a new concept, since before. This concept existed for a long time. Like, the milk delivery service, it's very similar to that. So in the past, milk manufacturers, they used to lend glass bottles to consumers, and they used to collect the glass bottles to reuse it. So since this is their asset, and if you keep using that for a long time, you can reduce the cost. So there was a paradigm shift to single-use containers. I went to so then, because of the single-use culture, instead of reusing it as a company's asset, people started to dispose the single-use containers. So in order to install this reuse culture, of course, a single-use is convenient, but I think if you can maintain the convenience of usage, then still I'm trying to achieve reuse cycle. And I think loop can be a sustainable business. And of course, for the stainless steel, if you can reuse 100 times, and like the cost, the depreciation cost is going to be 1/100th of the cost of you pay for the paper cups. So if you compare the cost between paper cup and also the aluminum steel containers, the cost per unit seems to be higher with the paper. However, if you keep reusing it, you can achieve that cost benefit too. And it can be customized too, and we can produce many different types of containers. So using stainless steel, we can achieve very good design too. And like ice cream containers, even if you keep it out in the room temperature, the ice cream can stay frozen for 4 years. So with a single-use package, it doesn't have such a function, and it's very stylish and easy to use, and we can achieve that design too. And Lotte, they designed this chewing gum containers. And I understand people chew gums while they are driving cars. So you know that you can open this lid of this can very easily with your single hand. So this is a custom-made containers, and by spending cost for this, and we can add more features and functions, and we can achieve a stylish design too. So our loops participants, sometimes they want to invest so much into the container as their asset, but Loop offers different types of containers made with stainless steel. This can be used for coffee, pasta, pet food. The same container can be used for different purpose or applications. So it's very convenient, and we can offer a cost benefit as well. And their competitors are using the same bottles too. And custom-made bottles and new bottles, sometimes in the manufacturing process becomes complicated and difficult since we are not achieving a big scale yet. But existing packages, then we can utilize the existing manufacturing lines too, like conventional existing containers, like one-way glass bottles. It's durable, and it can be reused to like Heinz glass bottles. And we have done some research, and the Heinz wanted to use loops system too. And we passed like durability test and washability test. And in the existing packages like Heinz glass bottles that can be put onto loops operations. And these bottles too, it can be washed, and also that it can be reused. Instead of spending a lot of the cost to participate in this, initiative, you don't have to spend a lot of the cost. Like for alcohol too, this is a glass bin, bottles. It can be reused as well, and people can join loops activities very easily. If you switch over to reusable bottles, then like wholesalers. We have the conventional distribution routes or network, and we can utilize the existing distribution network. And retailers, they can take a deposit from the customers for the containers. And after customers use the containers, when they go to shopping again, then they can bring the empty bottles and they can get the return on deposit. The deposit can be paid back to consumers. And we can manage these operations. After those bottles are collected, we can wash those and we can return those to manufacturers. Then they can refill the bottles. Then it's a circular system. And right now, Carrefour in France, and it has been already operated at 15 stores. In Japan too, at Aeon, there are 30 stores, mainly in Kanto region, where mainly Tokyo, we are running this operation already. So if the design is good, then even the price is premium, high-end prices. If that the container is, the design is good, then this is selling very well, like Kiserito and Estee Lauder too, deodorizer, and this is a premium price product, and they have been selling a lot as well. And not only B2C system in Japanese market. We have a partnership with City of Tokyo, like used bento box, or we have other types of containers like you see on this slide. This project went very good. So we are thinking that there is a potential needs for B2B applications too. So this pilot was done in office building in Tokyo. So that this kind of circulating system, maybe we can identify some needs in hotels too. I think you have seen, news too, like HORECA, hotels, restaurants, and also cafe. They're using like a single-use containers, plastic containers, but in Japan too. Like the toothbrush in Japan is going to be prohibited at the hotels in Japan after April next year. So a loop is that the hotels and restaurants and cafe, all the single-use containers that can be changed or replaced with reusable containers. We can, by doing so, we can scale up loops activities, and we can reduce the amount of waste as well. We are running a pilot right now with City of Tokyo, like hotels and restaurants and others. We are doing a lot of studies, and we are getting data as a feedback, and from April next year, we are going to do B2B pilot for loop project. That's all. Thank you very much.
My name is Bando from Mitsubishi Chemical. So briefly, I would like to talk about how we are tackling the circular economy here at Mitsubishi Chemical. In 2017, Mitsubishi Rayon, Mitsubishi Plastics, and Mitsubishi Chemicals were merged into one company, Mitsubishi Chemical. And as of March this year, employees are 42,660. And the group companies number at 295, and we operate in 31 countries, and the sales revenue consolidated 2,063 billion. And we have a wide range of business areas, as you see here in this screen. And one is basic materials, olefins, and the carbons, and the MMA, these are basic chemical materials, and the polymers produced utilizing those basic materials, and the advanced materials, water processing, and the life solution, and semiconductors, and also the battery materials. And towards the circular economy, we have been working for these years. And last year, we created the cross-organizational circular economy department, and we had been working on some aspects of it before it. First of all, plastic circulation, and I'm going to talk about it in more detail later. And the biomass plastic in addition to the plastic circulation. So we produce and sell and utilize biomass plastics. As for the carbon and hydrogen utilization, and we have received the state subsidies to be engaged in the national project to be a more precise. We are working on the artificial photosynthesis. So the water and the sun and the CO2, with this, we can produce, we can artificially do the photosynthesis. And we are also making active participation in other organizations utilizing hydrogen. And also it's very important to understand the carbon footprint. And so we are working on that too. And we have to be speedy in promoting the circular economy, and one company cannot do everything. So open innovation and partnership with stakeholders are very important. So briefly, I'd like to explain what we are doing about plastic chemical recycling. This first example is the plastic to oil conversion business, and we are working with ENEOS Corporation in Ibaraki Prefecture. And as you can see in this drawing, the blue part, oil refinement and crackers and polymer, and we are working with the Kajima oil, and the part of the liquefied oil is used to produce plastic, and then the plastic is now taken into the liquefaction facilities. And so plastic is circulated in this process. And I will explain later, but yeah, we are working with the company called the Refine in Birth.
And the next is the PMMA chemical recycling, and the acrylic resin, what you often see in the restaurants, and those boards. And so with the Honda, we are working on the recycling of the PMMA to make the clean the PMMA, and so we use the technology of the microplant, and we are demonstrating this technology at the moment. And in December last year, with the Kirin Holdings, made an announcement about the PET chemical recycling, and we're working with the Kirin Holdings. And as you know, the PET bottles, PET is now circulating in the form of PET bottles, but there are some stained PET bottles that is not fit for recycling, and also there are some drawn, the shaped, the formed PET, and this will be brought once again to the form of the raw material to use once again as a PET material. And so the issue with the recycling is that technology may be established, but there's not enough raw material for recycling. So in August last year, we have assigned the business tie-up and with the Refine Verse, and so we to collect the interim treated material and so we use their expertise and know-how for collecting and the raw material for recycling, and also they also have a good network for us to work with them, and we are starting our cooperation. And so when it comes to recycling, to be honest, the quality to be equivalent to the virgin material level, and the future task is to tell a difference between the recycled and the virgin material, and we need to have the traceability of the recycled material so that the material will go back to the consumers. And in summer this year, and we use the circular birth company and to work with the refined birth group, and there will be some more obstacles to fully materialize the traceability in the supply chain. But in addition to recycled materials, we would like to go further into LCA and also take a data on mass balance, and we would like to establish a system with a full traceability of the materials. So it was quite simple, but this concludes my presentation.
So today's topic is toward achieving a circular economy and plastic reduction. My name is Goda. I'm from Lawson. First of all, we would like to share our philosophy. We create happiness and harmony in our communities. When I say communities, sometimes we replace these communities by the earth or the globe. Today, we are going to talk about reduction of reuse effort, and also we would like to explain what we are doing as a natural Lawson. The first project, the first effort is the discount for the coffee tumbler. Do you ever know that we have this kind of the service and this discount service? And then I think not many people know about this. About 10 years ago, we started the service, for the service from fresh coffee. From the very beginning of the service, we gave some discounts because we just wanted to be eco-friendly. And the reason why we started the service is that we wanted to be eco-friendly. And if you see this frog mark, we also get a certificate in the Rainforest Alliance. And this certificate was gained through the effort for Lawson to gain more ideas to be eco-friendly. And from here, we got some idea that we are going to give discount for 39 yen for 1 cup of coffee if they bring in the tumblers. But not many people know that. Therefore, we started a campaign from July 20th up to the August 30th. So triggered by this, we are seeing more and more people using tumblers. And throughout the year, tumbler can be used for any seasons. Usually tumbler could be used for the winter time. And I think this is having a tumbler is a very good idea, especially for the winter. Under the COVID-19 pandemic, we don't have much communication with the people, but Lawson, we sell a lot of the fresh coffee. And with this, we can talk more. We can have a good communication with the customers. And another point that we'd like to introduce is the Oden pot. And then we give some discount if customer bring in the pot when they buy Oden. And bringing in a pot is somewhat a little bit classical in Japan. And since they draw attention and it wasn't highlighted in the news, and those who bring in their own pot, they could enjoy the 39 yen discount. In September, we started a pilot case in Tokyo, and then we roll out to the nations since October. And this is available for the Lawson shops, which are willing to participate in this campaign. And we have heard from the shop that a lot of ladies are using this.
From now on, and I'll talk about the selling by volume at the natural Lawson. Let me explain what it is all about. Can you see the left side? We supplied the container free of charge at the Lawson, but of course you can bring the container from your home. And here you can see that the customer is pouring the body soap into the container, and after that they'll put the weight to check that, and then after that the label is coming from the machine, and here you can see that the code, and then the customer can go to the register. So this selling by volume, we did it phase by phase, actually 3 phases. So let me talk about that phase. The first one, we started selling the detergent by volume as of August 2020. By the way, you might not know what the natural Lawson is all about. This is for supporting the beauty and the health, and this natural Lawson stores that they are deployed in the Greater Tokyo area. Currently 137 stores there, and out of them 10 stores are that they're dealing with this selling by volume. So why we started the detergent? Detergent does not have the best before date because it is not the food. And they will probably have to purchase the amount by what you need. And then the second phase, we go for the hand soaps and the bath amenities. Why? It's not do it simultaneously because the detergent is still the liquid, right? However, that the hand soap and the bath amenities, they have the regulations for the level because it is under the control of the pharmaceutical law. Also, so therefore that it is contacting the skin directory. So something occurred that then they need to refer to the product. So therefore that the label has the lot number so they can do the tracking down. So the future opportunity-wise, and we would like to deploy this the sales by volume for the hand soap and detergent in the blue Lawson and the blue signboard. Third phase. So nuts and dry fruits, we started selling by volume as of July 2021. Within 2 weeks, and then we sell it up, and so far so good. So press release is already issued. So next week, as of November 30th, and then we will sell the water in the PB carton in the Kanto and Chiba areas. So regarding the PB carton, it is already sold well in the Western world. However, the inside of Japan and in the domestic convenience stores, Lawson is the first to sell the water in the PB carton. So the amount of the PB carton water is not so much. Hopefully that this will they circulate it further in the future. So hopefully that we would like to together to go good for the society. Thank you very much for your listening. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nasu. I am General Manager of Business Planning Division at Japan Soft Drink Association. I'm hoping to have discussion with you today, so allow me to jump into my presentation. Can you see my screen? Yes. Then let me begin. First, to introduce JSDA, or Japan Soft Drink Association, it is an industrial association of soft drink producers and associated companies and supporting members. It has a history of more than 100 years. Number of members is about 70, but since we have many group companies as our members, there are about 240 companies associated with the members and 140 plus supporting members in the industry. Here is the overview of the beverage market. Among processed foods, soft drink segment is one of the largest. Revenue is 3,797.8 billion yen, almost 4 trillion yen, and daily revenue is about 10 billion yen. Production volume in kiloliter may not really ring a bell, but simply put, we basically sell a 500 milliliter bottle per person for the entire population of Japan every day. Today's theme is pet bottle. 30 years ago, the situation was completely different. But as we responded to customer needs and addressed various demands, we have come to this current picture. Although we have different materials like glass, can, and paper, PET bottle currently accounts for 76%. We believe its share has grown due to its convenience, such as resealability, visibility of the liquid, lightweight, sturdiness, and no condensation formed outside of the bottle when it's in the bag. The next page onwards talks about the main topic. This is a graph showing PET bottle recycle rates for the last 10 years. At the top in green is Japan, with 88.5% recycle rate in 2020. Next, we have EU in blue, and at the bottom, US in yellow. It is not to say which is good or bad, but as you can see, Japan is a leader in PET bottle recycling rate, and I think Japanese people should be proud of that.
But this situation didn't happen just overnight. I want you to understand that, well, since long time ago, our industries have been working really hard to reach this level. And before getting into that topic, in the first place, what is recycling all about? In my opinion, well, recycling of the used PET bottle are just utilizing resources available on surface. If we do not utilize these resources above the ground, then we have to use the underground limited fossil-derived resources. And if we use the fossil-derived resources, we're gonna emit the carbon dioxide. So we need to utilize the resources at the maximum level. That is the idea of the recycling. This is the concept we actually had before. And around 30 years ago, we are actually engaging in these initiatives. And 30 years ago, just the small size of PET bottles were introduced in the market. And from that time, the industry had lots of discussions, and based on the industrial guidelines, we actually proceeded with our initiatives. For example, that we decided that PET bottle should be monomaterial. If we have the multiple materials, it's very difficult to recycle the material. And if you go to other countries, well, the color of the bottles are various. However, when you come back to Japan, when you look at the market or when you go to the supermarket in Japan, the PET bottle produced in Japan do not have any color. This is not coincidence. If we have the color in the bottles, then that also will make the recycle more difficult. So this is very unique initiatives. So since 29 years ago, we have been engaged in this type of initiatives. And prior to recycle, we also need to think about how to reduce the amount of usage. And in the past 2 decades, the industry have been engaged in making the bottle more light. So simply put, in 20 years, we actually achieved 25% light weighting of PET bottle compared to the level of years 2004. Well, if we do not actually engage in reducing, then we will not achieve such a high level of the recycling effect. Another characteristic of Japan is about Japan haven't implemented deposit system. In Europe, particularly in Germany or other European countries, apply deposit refund schemes to achieve a certain level of recycling. But how about Japan? In order to advance the recycling, well, we are often said that Japan should adopt a deposit system, but we actually have introduced the Japan unique system without deposit refund schemes. And without the deposit schemes, we are actually achieving the very high level of recycling rate. So we actually promoted a Japan model. So what is Japan model? We do not actually use a fund to incentivize consumers by depositing. But in Japan, well, the container and the packaging recycling law was adopted many years ago. And the law stipulates a clear division of role. So the municipal government should segregate and collect the bottles. Then the manufacturers actually should recycle. Then for consumer side, they should sort and dispose the bottles. So this type of the division of roles are clear. So for example, you actually, wherever you live in any cities in Japan, there is a specific date to collect the recyclable bottles. And this is because we have the clear division of law under the container and packaging recycling law. So this can be proud to the world. And in summary, so the title of this slide says that Japan's PET bottle sustainability scorecard. We actually designed the bottle for sustainability since 20 years ago. And also we are engaged in reducing the bottles. And so we achieved a light weighting rate at 25%. And before doing the recycle, we need to collect bottles. And the collection rate is very high. As of last year, we achieved 96.7% of collection rate. Then we will recycle the bottles. And we already achieved 88.5% of the recycling rate. And that is way higher than the European records. But we are not complacent at this level. Our commitment continues to evolve and must to evolve. So our recycling system is very solid, but currently all bottles are not actually returned to the new bottles. For example, some bottles actually changed to the fibers or the trays. Then if we would like to have the complete circulations, well, then we actually can circulate the bottle to bottle, the circle. And I would like to raise the rate of the bottle to bottle. So April this year, we actually declared the bottle to bottle rate at 50% by 2030. In other countries, actually, they put more conditions and have the higher targets. But actually, we would like to have this the minimum target of 50%. Then, what is the advantage of the bottle-to-bottle recycling? If we do the recycling, not returning to the bottle, then the way of the recycling become one way. If you actually recycle bottle to bottle, then we actually minimize the fossil-derived resources. So in other words, we can actually maximize the above the surface resources. And through this, the bottle-to-bottle recycling, we can actually significantly contribute to reduce the CO2s. To what level? With the current facility and technologies, we can reduce the carbon dioxide by 50 to 60%. This is from the recycle resin supplier website. And if the renewable energy is utilized more, then this number will be actually expanded more. So I just spoke in 15 minutes. So this is my summary. So we would like to become the global top runner in circular and ecological economy. Ecological, what do we mean? It's the coexistence with the nature. So through the natural circulation, we would like to coexist with the earth. We would like to nurture the earth so that we would like to establish the sustainable economy. So we would like to achieve the vision. So we would like to create the creating circular and ecological economy. So we would like to minimize the underground resources, and we would like to contribute to reduce the carbon emissions. So that is our goal, and your cooperation is appreciated. So that's all about our initiatives as the industry. Thank you.